All right, so save your waves for a minute, but if you all would, while we're getting the live stream going, get your cameras on if you're able to, and we'll welcome everyone again. And now I believe we are live on YouTube, and I'm going to just pause that and mute because we are live. All right. So hello, everybody. Let me stop my screen share for one moment. Good to see everyone in YouTube land. And if you're here live, thank you so much for taking time out of your Thursday afternoon for week 2 of our Leadership in Educational Technology Instructional Design course. I'll be leading the way today, and Tony's going to be letting people into the room, and Carol's going to be watching the chat. And so, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to be as rude as you want, interrupt me, and just, stop me and ask questions as we go. You cannot hurt my feelings. So, quote for this week: leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Just thought that was an appropriate thing to keep in mind today and every day. And so first off, the theme this week is we're talking about connected educators. And so in the chat, or if you want to open up your mic and share, be brave and step on the stage and share your thoughts on this one. What are your thoughts on this? How would you define the connected educator? If you want to share that in the chat, that's great too.
Someone who can present live on YouTube has to be a connected educator.
I like that. It's just a button. And it's even better because the people on YouTube can't yell back at you. You can just start talking, and whatever happens. So
I would say that I was a connected educator until all of the COVID stuff happened. And then I realized how much I had to learn, teaching simultaneously with online and in person, using Zoom, Google Meet, whatever we had to use, sharing things, not forgetting to unmute myself while I was teaching on both. All those things that seem like simple concepts, but doing them all at the same time, I felt like makes a connected educator, being able to be connected both emotionally with your students that are learning only from home, but also technology-wise.
No, I like that. That's because normally, when we've taught this class in the past, connected educator just means being connected to your peers, or at least it had been. And we hadn't had to worry about being connected to our students because we got to talk to them every day, and they showed up every day, and we get to build those relationships that way. And so you're right. In the last year and a half, we have had to learn a whole more tools to connect with both our students and with other educators. From the chat, let's see, Jack says, and I don't think that's Jack. I know Jack Johnson. I'm a big fan. I've been to a couple of his concerts, but I don't think he's in our.
Actually, I have this son who's named Jack Johnson, and I don't know how he got his Zoom.
It's okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, while you're on, just say what you said while you're on. Go ahead. I don't know your first name though. Sorry.
Oh, I'm Natalie.
So Natalie, go ahead and share what you said in the chat, just so that
okay,
folks on YouTube can't read the chat. So go ahead.
Yes, I want to draw on what Aaron said. Through COVID, I had such anxiety in trying to connect to my students, and because I don't like to have videos, but now I don't even care anymore. You just got the point where I don't care how I look, whatever. And I think that when we want to connect, we shouldn't be self-conscious on ourselves and, trying to make the perfect video, instructional video, trying to look perfect on Zoom. It's just not going to happen. So to connect on all platforms, that means face-to-face, on Zoom, on Google Meets, on YouTube, and all of these other platforms, even texting. I find that the way you have to be aware of when you're texting your students. I know I have to text my students, but even in emails, the way you sound and write in your emails is so vitally important, that you're not sounding angry or disgusted, but you're willing to help, especially on the other end, emailing your parents or emailing students. They're frustrated. They're ready to throw in the towel. And I know they are, and so to communicate in that sense, to be positive.
Excellent. Yeah. The mantra for the last year should have been perfect is the enemy of good enough. Just don't kill yourself trying to make, like you said, make everything perfect. You've got way too much to do. So good enough is good enough. Aaron also shared connected in many ways, emotionally connected, digitally knowledgeable and present. Great. Joel says a connected educator goes beyond the traditional learning community and dives deeper into a specific area of interest with a network of like-minded, self-driven educators. Sounds like you guys should be leading the seminar today instead of me. So I appreciate those thoughts and your guys' willingness to jump in there. Anyone else want to make a comment on that? Some great observations. I appreciate that.
I think I would just add that you're invested. You're invested in what's going on, and
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great. Last call. And I was about to jump ahead when Ryan got his mute button undone. So I'm glad I waited that extra 2 beats. So, okay. So week 2 assignments this week. First off, any questions about last week? Last week's pretty well straightforward. I do have a couple of corrections to make, I believe, in here. But any heartburn or anything from last week that we want to
A little bit of happiness. I was very, very pleased with my learners and their discussions and their responses. Very thorough, deep, evaluative. Keep doing what you're doing, everyone.
Excellent. I haven't had a chance to look at the papers for last week, but I did enjoy the introductions and discussions in my section. Okay, so this week, our assignment this week is to, it's the page will list many traits of the connected educator, the discussion this week, excuse me. So in your discussion, we will kind of take what we started with here, take it a little bit deeper. How would you define the connected educator? Which of those identified skills do you eagerly practice, and which skills do you still need to work on? And you can refer to chapter 1 of the course text to help you respond with that. And remember that by Sunday night, we need to have that enhanced discussion post entered. I've updated that page a little bit. We had some weirdness. We've had some weirdness with the Canvas overall. And then we had some weirdness with broken links, and I tried to fix those. And by fixing those, I actually made an endless loop on the welcome page. So if you tried to visit it in the last day or two, it was pretty much unreadable. So I appreciate one of the learners reaching out to us and saying, hey, I can't even click on the Zoom link. So I was able to get that fixed this afternoon. But we do have some ideas and some things to try on that enhanced discussion post page as far as tools and tricks like that. And then again, your 2 responses, at least 2, by next Wednesday to everyone's initial posts. Our assignment this week, we're digging into the future ready frameworks. This week is going to be Gear 1 on self-assessment. And again, no more than 2-page double-spaced paper. Answer the questions that are described below. And I won't read through those. It's in the assignment. But each week we also have so there's a link out to the Future Ready Framework site, which kind of looks like this. And let me adjust my screen so you guys can see this, I hope. There we go. So over the course of these next 8 weeks, we're going to look at curriculum, instruction and assessment, personalized professional learning, budget and resources, community partnerships, data privacy, infrastructure, use of space of time, and collaborative leadership. And so you can jump to each one of these areas and read a little bit more about them. But they're also in the Canvas course, there are some self-assessments that you can take. So from our Canvas homepage, click on week 2. That takes me to the module. We're in week 2 seminar, and then Gear 1 paper. This will link out to the page I was just at. But this self-assessment, this Gear 1 self-assessment is actually a series of questions. You can preview this way, or download it and or print it out and go through these questions, and just kind of thinking about your situation, your experience, where you're teaching, or if you're not in the classroom right now, the last place you were in the classroom, or if you've got some local teacher friends, if you want to reach out with them and ask their opinion on where they feel like their school, their district, their charter school, their LEA is on with each one of these different areas. And so there's many questions. It doesn't take too long to go through these self-assessments. You don't even have to print them out. You just want to kind of scan those areas and kind of get an idea of how you're doing within each one of these elements. That works. And then again, when you submit your assignment, 2 pages, focusing in on, you don't have to go into depth on each one. If there's one area that kind of stands out or, speaks to you more than else, take a page and focus on 1 or 2 of those areas, whatever works for you. We just for our sanity, we don't really want to try to read, 35-page papers. Being selfish, but
I'm going to jump in, Clint, on that. Yeah, just to reiterate, whatever you can answer within your 2 pages, right? Yeah. That's kind of what we're looking for. So if you can cover all of the questions, great, that's great. But if you can't, like if that's going to take 5 pages, we don't want 5 pages. Yeah. Shorten it and maybe only answer 3 of the questions in 2 pages, if that makes sense. So whatever is going to work for you to be able to answer those questions. And we do not need the questions included in your paper. Right. Just what you're writing your paper on will answer those questions. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, you're not required to cover every single one. Just discuss your situation in a couple pages and we're good to go on that. When possible, we would like you to include citations in that APA format. And you're thinking, well, Clint, I went to college 30 years ago and I can't remember how to do that formatting. So how can I do that? If you're using Google Docs, there's a nice little trick or tool within Google Docs to help you do these. So here's my citation. Okay. And so what you can do is there's a little tool down here on the bottom right you may have never clicked on called Explore, or also underneath Tools, Explore. And what that does is it brings up a little sidebar that brings you a little Google search engine right within your document, so you don't have to leave anywhere. And so let's say I wanted to reference SCDC website, SCDC K12.org. So you can put a link right in there to the reference that you cited, or if there's a page within that site. So let me dig into, well, then I won't be able to get that one. But let's just say I wanted to reference SCDC, our site, that way. To see the little, when my results come up, I get a little thumbnail for each one. You see this little quotation right there? Click that little button and you're thinking, wow, Clint, it puts in a 1 there. Fancy. But what it also does is down here at the bottom of the page in a footnote, it puts that citation in there for you in that format. And if you want to choose a different format, that's MLA. I lied. So if I want to choose APA right here in the web results, that little snowman right there, change that to APA. It won't fix the ones you've already done. So I'll undo that. But now I will cite it again, hover, click on the quote, and it puts my citation there. And then now that's there in the proper format. Good enough? Questions on that? Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. And Carol, I appreciate your comment as well. Just write it as a paper, not a bunch of bullet points. That would be wonderful. And one other suggestion is if you turn in your paper using Google Docs, which is awesome, consider submitting a link that allows your instructors to comment on your Google Doc. Because when we can see things in the document editor in Canvas and SpeedGrader, cool, we can put comments right there. But a lot of times we get view only rights to your Google Docs. But if we can get commenting rights, I love that.
Yeah, so you can come in here and just add your, so say, let's say Carol was my instructor. So I could choose Carol Neff and I could give her commenting rights and send it. That doesn't turn it in, but that just allows, that just makes sure that she has those rights to comment. And if she can't get to it, she can also get that from her email. So thanks, Katie. Great comment. I appreciate that. Anyone else?
There is a question from the chat.
Okay.
Are we expected to answer with our experience or our district official positions?
That's a great question. With your experience, we are not sharing, we are not narcs. We're not reporting back to anybody else. Just be honest. These are honest self-assessments. And again, that's the intention of it. It's not meant to say that your district or what is happening is good or bad. It's just, where are you on the continuum of the ideal that Future Ready framework has set forth? Are they the end all be all authority? No, but it's just one way to look at these different areas and gauge how we're doing. Great question. Any others? While I navigate back to my slides. I try to do this just to share a portion of the screen, and sometimes it's easy to change that back and sometimes not. Okay. Any other questions on week 2 assignment or discussion? I'm gonna start counting to 5 every time I ask a question like that. Okay. All right, APA formatting, we just went over that. I just showed you a little trick, the Explore tool in Google Docs, on how to help with that. Any other questions about week 2? Again, this course is pretty straightforward. We're going to be doing just about the exact same thing for the next 2 months. Weekly discussion topic, take a look at a gear, write a paper, and wash, rinse, repeat. So pretty straightforward. That being said, if you do have questions, though, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, again, here's your instructors. Make sure that when you look at the top of your course, it should have our last name in there somewhere. If you want to be in a different section, I had somebody just yesterday tell me somehow they got into 2 different sections, and one of them wasn't mine. So I'm like, that's cool. Just figure out which one you want to be in and let us know, and we'll get it sorted out for you. But if you do run into questions, have concerns, need some help, please don't hesitate to reach out to these folks. Okay, and again, just quickly going back over the course overview. Last week it did say the full text are available in Canvas and PDF. That's been the case with the other 2 courses, these core courses in the series. That is not the case. We don't have the PDFs available for you. But again, you can get the ebook there. You can buy it from Amazon. Check with your regional service center if they have a version of it through Sora or Overdrive. I have lent out my personal copy, so that's no longer an option. But again, weekly discussions based on your reading, enhanced posts by Sunday night, responses by Wednesday evening.
Okay, we have another question in the chat, actually a couple. On the citing, back to the assignment, are you supposed to be researching outside the material that they've been given? And if they quote the information given, are we expected that they cite that?
If they're quoting, cite it for sure. Yeah. And yes, we want you to pull from your district resources or whatever resources you have, and just a quick citation on the website or where you pulled that from. Be great.
And then the second question is, if they are in 2 sections of a class, who do they contact? Do they contact their instructor about that, or do they need to contact someone like at UEN?
So the most direct way to get it fixed would be to contact Anna at uen.org, ANNA at uen.org. Or you can just email your instructor and we can take care of it. Not sure how people are getting into 2 sections. You're so excited about the class, you signed up twice. And it's possible that what we had to do to fix our content issues, that maybe some people ended up in more than one section. Don't know. Okay. Let's see. I didn't cover this one again. Weeks 1 through 9, we're looking at those gears. At the top of the modules in our course, there's links to the requirements for week 10, week 11, and week 12 assignments. So the memo to the superintendent, your lesson plan modification, your tech training plan. Don't let the summer get away from you. Look ahead and plan for those. And again, our weekly seminar, we'll try to keep them short. And so as such, I will try to get out of here. They will all the recordings will be on my YouTube channel. And if the streaming works, it'll be available immediately following our time today. Keep in mind, everything's due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. If you get behind, let us know. Still prioritize, if you can, keep as current with the discussions as you can. If you get behind on a gear paper or two, at least in my section, that's okay. We'd like to keep that conversation as current as we can, but don't get too far behind. It gets frustrating. I'm actually taking a course myself, and I got very, very behind in it. And it was a struggle to dig myself out of it by Tuesday, and I was very happy when I did. So, and guess what? Our friend Jared Covili, our old instructor, is trying to call me right now. So I'll call him back in a minute.
Tell him we said hi.
I certainly will. Yeah. I should say, hey, you should know better than to try to talk to me at 4 p.m. on a Thursday. Check with your comments in Canvas. And if you don't look at the Canvas inbox too much, make sure that you've got alerts coming out to text or email in your notifications. And if you need help with setting that up, let us know. Just make sure that you're getting those comments. We'll let you know if there's anything that needs to be fixed or missing. Modules are locked. We actually are nicer this year. 3 weeks. They're unlocked 3 weeks out. So work ahead if you can. And at the end of the course, we'll open up a credit request module so that you can get your credit that you need. And don't suffer in silence. Reach out. If you're struggling with something, let us know. We're happy and we're flexible to help you out with any issues. Just please don't try to take advantage of our flexibility. So that's what we ask. And then this is a slide for Tony.
Just have to take a moment to share with you. This is, I cannot sell used cars, but I can sell education. Once you become endorsed, technology endorsement, you may use these 3 classes as electives in our SUU Masters of Education program. So if you have not earned your master's degree and you'd like to talk about how to get these courses to work towards your SUU, your Master's in Education at SUU, I would love to visit with you about it. You can certainly reach out to me, or even more direct, we've got Tammy Lovell's telephone number here. If you'll give her a call and say, Tony said that you could talk to me about using these ed tech courses as electives in a master's. What's that all about? Help me out with that. We'd love to hear from you and help you to earn your master's. And I won't bring it up again. Thank you so very much.
No problem. Okay, anything else? Brandon, you have a joke for us today, or Carol?
There's a question in the chat for Tony. How do we get the SUU credit for this course? And where and when do we pay for that?
That is a great question. As you finish this course, please get your final grades in the last day of class, that last Wednesday night, and then your individual instructor will finalize those grades and get those grades to Anna at UEN. Anna will take those grades from the 6 different classes and push them to SUU. It may take a couple of weeks, but once those grades have been shared with SUU, they will go on your transcripts. Let me put in the chat here, give me just a second, an email address. If you give it a couple of weeks after the end of class, but if you will write to K12 in service at suu.edu, Serena will get with you and we'll make sure that you have access to those transcripts as soon as Anna gets them to Serena, and Serena can get them into the transcript system at SUU.
So at the end of the course, once everything's complete, this module will open up. There'll be a link to download the SU credit request form, and then you'll just send that in with a check for $23 per credit. So that is $69 for this class.
And I know I
pay
said
that
I
at the
wouldn't bring
end.
it. I know I said I wouldn't bring it up again, but if you can get a master's degree with 3-year classes at $69, you're getting a good ganga.
Excellent question. So don't worry about it today. We'll worry about it at the end of the class. Any other questions?
I was wondering if SUU will have any doctorate of education. I know they're doing a psychology coming up because I already have a master's. So yeah, if they're going to do a doctorate.
Right now it's outside of our mission. I've heard rumors that's the next one coming, but there is nothing there. Nobody's talking about that very much. We are looking at a master's with in a year, in fall of 2022, a master's of education with a major in school counseling, but we're still kind of investigating that right now. But the EDD, we'd love it. We get requests for it constantly, but other state entities that are have those are not letting us into the ballpark. So we're hanging in there and hoping for the best for the future.
I have another question. I don't know if you can answer it, probably not, but you know, the lane changes with a master's degree plus credits. So if I do a second master's, would it be considered a doctorate, or do I have to do a doctorate?
That is totally a district. You need to visit people at your district. Every district is unique, and they're the ones that compensate you and set up that salary schedule. They are the ones, they rule, we drool. And so you have to work it out with your district, and that question has to go there. It just varies from district to district.
Okay, thank you.
And while we're on the subject of doctorates in education, just a quick shout out to 2 of our course instructors. Katie and Danny just walked with their cap and gown recently. I don't know exactly when it was, but they've earned their, what was it in, Katie? What's the exact title it was in?
We got our doctorates in educational leadership and policy.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know I told you that on Facebook, but congrats. It's an amazing accomplishment. So
thanks so much.
Very proud of you. Okay. Anything else? Have a great week. Best of luck with the last few weeks of the school year. I know it's crazy hectic time, but before you know it, it's going to be week 12 and we're going to be shedding tears because we're done with this course. It's going to be here before you know it. So I'll stop my share. Any last words, thoughts? Brandon, a joke?
I let you down. I'm supposed to have one for this week. Maybe I didn't get one.
2 next week.
Oh, Clint, I don't have jokes, but I don't have jokes usually, but I have I think is a real good one.
Good.
Real quickly, kind of a little short story. A very, very ancient gentleman goes to the local Chevy dealer, buys himself a new Corvette, takes off and puts the accelerator down. 60, 70, 80, 90, gets out on the freeway, 120, hit what little hair he has is blowing in the wind. He's just loving life. And all of a sudden he looks back and he sees the police officer, and he takes it up another 10 miles an hour, goes, "What the heck am I doing?" Pulls over. The police officer comes up to me and goes, "Sir, I clocked you 130 miles an hour. It's Friday afternoon. It's 30 minutes before I have to go home. If you can give me a reason for you going 130 miles an hour, I will let you off without a ticket." The gentleman thinks for a moment. He said, "Well, a few years ago, my wife ran away with a highway patrolman, and I thought you were bringing her back." Have a good weekend. You have a good weekend, and off you go.
Awesome. Let's end it right there. Thanks, everybody.